They're wooing. Hello, world. What is up? Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Matt Forte. We are here live at the Build Studio in New York City. Our next guest, you most likely first fell in love with nearly 20 years ago as Captain Malcolm Reynolds on Firefly. You, of course, also know him as Castle from the hit ABC series Castle. Or maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe you know him from one of the dozens of other amazing things he's done. I do know this much. You do love him. We all do. And you can currently catch him Sunday nights in ABC's The Rookie. Please welcome the truly great, the one, the only, make some crazy noise, as Nathan Fillion. Let's go. Come on.
Thank you so much for letting me encroach on your shot there.
Always. You can encroach away. Keep a keen eye on that monitor. I want you encroaching in every shot possible.
It's so distracting to see.
Can I say something?
When I see my face in the monitor, I freeze.
Well, if you want, I can. I was going to make your face larger and bigger here if we want. Is that equally
you have the power to?
I have no power, Nathan. I'm going to tell you right now. I am powerless. But we can do whatever you want. What do you want, Nathan?
We're doing it now.
Perfect. We've nailed it. Sir, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations.
Can you believe this? Season 2 of another TV show?
Yeah. How awesome is that?
It's actually a big deal. I don't know if you know this. It's really hard to put a show on TV and make it stay.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
we all know that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So to be here, season 2, mid-season, we're coming back. Everyone's really excited. Are you excited for the return for the I mean, you know how it ends. You were there, but we don't know yet. Are you excited for us to see it?
Yeah, I am excited. I mean, for me, it's a little different because I still go to work. I see the same people every day. But for me, it'll mean less of, when is it coming back? Yes. I'll get less of that. Super excited about that.
That's great. I'm happy that's happening.
I just want people to be happy, to be honest.
And I think we are. Are we happy?
Good morning, everyone. Good morning to the good
Mission
seats,
accomplished.
the cheap seats.
They're all the same price. They're all. You know, one of the things I just realized as I was putting this together, I was saying the little introduction there. You were Castle on Castle. You're the rookie in the rookie. Have you reached a point? You're simplifying things. Titular characters only from here on out. You've got to be the thing. Is that it? Is that easier?
What'd you just say to me?
Titular characters only. Titular characters only.
I have been super duper lucky. I don't know if you know this. Like we said, it's really hard to get a TV show. It's hard to get the audition to get the show. It's hard to get the show made into a pilot. It's hard to get the pilot to get on TV, and then once it's on TV, it's hard to keep it on there. So when things actually all roll in together, it's kind of a little bit of a tiny miracle.
And just be honest, at your point, is that beginning part still as hard? Because you're Nathan Fillion. It's still hard to get the audition for you? Is that something you still find challenging? Are there rooms you have trouble getting into? Because I find that hard to believe.
So you know how hard it is when they're looking for a Nathan Fillion type and you don't get the role.
Has that happened?
It's happened.
No.
Yeah. Yes, it's happened to me and to my friend Ron Glass. It happened to him, God rest his soul, before he passed. But yes, it happens.
Who gives you that?
They're looking for you, and you just weren't you enough.
What kind of existential crisis does that spark?
Man, you know, you can walk away from these things, and they'll say, he's too short, or he's too tall, or he's too. They can pick whatever, but he's not himself enough. He's not Nathan enough.
Need more Nathan.
What?
Is that the kind of feedback that you just have to kind of process and move past? You can't really do anything with that.
Somebody told me long ago, you got to just not take it personally. Also, you're not, any actors in the crowd, by the way? This is New York. We got a couple. They're all working here. They say you don't audition for the part, you audition for the people. The shows will keep rolling. You'll definitely not get the chances are you're not going to get the show. But the people in the room, will keep working and they'll keep doing more shows and you'll keep going back for them. So you try not to take it too personal and just try to do your job.
I'm so excited to see this show is still going. This is a show that I hope lasts for a very long time, for multiple reasons. But one of them is because I'm very excited to watch you eventually navigate no longer being a rookie. It's going to happen at some point.
Okay, super big deal. Season 2.
Yeah.
Short sleeves.
I saw that. Where do we go from here?
Oh my God.
Tank tops.
Short shorts. No.
It's just less and less each year.
The things I'm looking for in the future are we do a lot of criminals always run away. I'm going to tell you that right now. They always run. which means you always got to run after him. And I just wanted a day where John Nolan sees a criminal running away and goes, "Ah, not again," and then looks up to the side and says, "Hey, kid," and cut to him riding an electric scooter, chasing after criminals.
There's that, and the other
jumping off
move.
of it.
The other move I'd like to see is the criminal running, and then that thing where like you're on the other side of a wall. They don't know it, and you just put your arm out and clothesline them right away.
Did it?
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
That's
Episode 3, season 2.
So talk to when the show first came out. I remember saying, the story loosely based on an actual cop at the LAPD. You got to meet him,
Yes.
Bill, I believe.
Yes,
right?
his name is Bill.
His name's Bill. You keep touch with him. Is he still coming by?
He still comes by. He's every once in a while we'll be like filming on location somewhere in Santa Monica, something like that, and Bill will swing by. He goes, "Yeah, I'm on patrol here. This is my rookie." Right? He's got a rookie this year.
Nice. Oh,
yeah,
that's so
yeah,
cool.
it happens. It happens. Yeah. As you move on, the job evolves and changes. So for us, that means our show continually evolves and changes. We can't really repeat a season, which is kind of clever. It's kind of
exciting too.
it's built-in excitement. Yes.
To that end, coming into season 2, what were some things that you guys learned in season 1? What made season 2 different? Obviously, you got to evolve. You got to change each time. You got to keep it fresh. Short sleeves. We've got that.
Yes.
What else did you guys kind of learn making the first season of The Rookie that you brought with you into this one?
What else did we learn? Oh my gosh! Here's what I learned. It's it's hard to pretend to be a cop. I've got a callus on my hip where the gun goes. I really do. As hard as it is to pretend to be a cop, I can't. What is it like to actually be a cop? Right. We don't have to do the paperwork. First of all, I'd love to do an episode of like just paperwork.
Straight 28 minutes of Nolan at a desk.
Right?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
It'd be relaxing.
It'd be
It's a
about
good day for you.
it's all the stuff that goes around other stuff around the thing. It'd be like a little submarine story, everybody in the same room, but doing paperwork. But that's apparently the part we get the most wrong with the cops. They say, yeah, you're pretty much on it, but yeah, the paperwork. You never really get the paperwork right.
Is it because you don't show a lot of the paperwork? I mean, it's admittedly,
It doesn't make
narratively,
for
it's hard to
super
make it.
exciting
No,
TV.
yeah, it doesn't.
Yeah. Guns out blazing, people tune in. Yeah. Pencil scratching, people tune out.
This week, John's pencil breaks. What does he do? Yeah, just churn. Of course,
Remember those?
pencil sharpener.
I don't know if you guys know this, but we used to use pencils and we had to anyway.
We sharpened pencils. We rolled down windows. This
Right.
was a lot of things back in the day.
We used to have to hang up phones.
It's amazing we all still have elbows. I don't know how we did it. Talk to me about so the action and all that sort of stuff, but this amazing cast. You're surrounded by incredible people. I remember you saying a while ago that you guys got to cast everyone you wanted to cast, which never happens.
Yeah, we've been so super fortunate, and it's great too because the show is very compartmentalized the way it's built. So you're not there 24/7 just kind of grinding out the entertainment. We kind of work in shifts, so everybody's in and at other times, and then certain weeks we're there, all of us together. We get rarely anything done because we're always horsing around playing party games and charades or something in the back. We have some dice games we play. We gamble. We gamble. And we come back though for this mid-season premiere. Melissa O'Neill, incredibly talented, incredibly Canadian, incredibly sweet. Really has an opportunity to show her chops. She's been doing this a long time. She's very, very good. Kind of a ticking time bomb kind of an episode. Buried alive, guys. It's going to be intense. Yeah. I love your shirt, by the way. Thanks.
I don't want to reveal too much because I've gotten a chance to see the mid-season premiere, and it's
You saw it?
Yeah, I did get a chance. Have you not seen it?
Oh no, I've seen it. Come
I was
on.
gonna say, wow, again, you were there. But and it's fantastic. So I don't want to spoil anything, but she really is outstanding on this show and in this episode in particular.
Yeah,
it's a stellar performance.
It's something we can all be very proud of.
I read or saw somewhere one of the things you did with the cast was you rented a karaoke machine and you had everybody come over and party and hang out.
That happened.
Is that a regular occurrence?
No.
No. Okay.
Oh my God.
It's a one-shot deal.
Because you start pouring the drinks and you start turning on the music and you start handing out microphones. You can't get them out of your house. There's one. We have a lot of incredibly talented singers on that cast. I can carry a tune in a bucket. Okay. But these guys sing. Yeah. And when they start singing, they'll go, they'll just start, and they go, hey, you take the fourth, I'll go with the third. And you're a little sharp, so bring it down. Like, they talk like that.
Yeah, that's intense. What's your go-to karaoke? Oh, it's karaoke night. Yeah, what are you doing? What are you pulling out of the pocket? Think.
My signature song is
Yes.
Bobby Darin's Beyond the Sea, but if you want everybody singing along, it's Hotel California. Really? Yeah.
One person really excited about that.
I've been to that hotel.
Well, I bring it up because something that we often talk about on the stage is, being number one on the call sheet. You set the tone and all these sort of things, and people sort of follow your lead. And I was curious if that was not just a bonding experience, but sort of something that you go out of your way to do. That when you're in this position, because you were castle on castle, and here you are, the rookie. You're number one. You're Nathan. So do you make an effort? You're also very Canadian, so I imagine it comes naturally. But do you make an effort to make sure everybody's comfortable and bonding and having a good time?
I think that's just the effort I think people make in life. This is the lottery job. Like I said, it's so hard to get one of these things on TV. If you're actually working, your worst day is still a great day. So, yeah, in life, I want people to be relaxed and happy and enjoying the day. If people are comfortable at work, they're giving you their best work. If they feel that they can trust you and they're in a safe environment, safe enough to take chances, make mistakes, you're going to get your best work out of them. That's just a fact. And it just makes the day go so much smoother.
Does the cat? Do you guys laugh a lot off camera? Because there's some comedy on the show. It's not a broad comedy. There's just natural, sort of grounded in reality comedy, little laughs here and there.
The answer is yes. The question is, do we laugh too much?
There we are.
Sometimes.
But
sometimes. Here's the thing.
How does one say too much? How do you know it's too much?
Once we had a director come in, and wonderful guy. He was a DP on director of photography on Castle. Started directing Castles. He's been here in New York for a long time, directing Blacklist. His name is Bill Rowe. He's a wonderful guy. Someone said to him, "Hey, sorry about this," because we were horsing around. I don't know doing what. He said, "Sorry about this. It happens all the time." And Bill said, "It's better than the alternative," which is such perspective, right?
Yeah, it's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, on one hand, maybe it gets in the way of what you're trying to do in that moment. But on the other hand, we're all here having fun.
Yeah, what's 5 minutes?
Exactly, what's 5 minutes? Well, I bring it up because this character in particular for you, especially the way in which he's got a respect for authority, all these things, a slightly different tone than we're used to seeing, a couple of different muscles for you to work there. Did it take you a minute to kind of dial that in and find that speed? Were you excited to play that speed?
Yeah, and you certainly learn a lot more as the story goes on. You have an idea, you have a grip on who the character is, but as you start to experience life with these characters we watch on television, you start to understand them better, and we're right along with you there on that journey. We start to learn the character better and understand them better. I enjoy John Nolan. He's kind of having a second crack at life, and he's really having a good time of it. And that's not too far from my own experience, minus the part about the second crack. I'm still having my first crack, and it's still a great crack.
A hell of a crack. One of the all-time great cracks.
I sure hope
cracks go.
I sure hope this doesn't get taken out of context.
Nope. Yeah, this is going to be the pull quote from the interview. Nathan loves crack. Loving his second crack. His first crack. Best crack ever. What would be, because you're an incredible run, an incredible career so far, but if you wanted to turn this whole franchise around, if you were to pull a Nolan and start over, what would you do? Do you ever think about that? This is so much fun. I can't imagine you entertain the idea, but what would you do?
Do you mean if I wasn't acting?
If you decided tomorrow, I've had enough. This is good. I want to do something else.
I'm going to go to get a mop.
After the
Folks,
mop.
the jokes write themselves.
That's good.
I would. Here are my options. Option number one: those who cannot do teach. I would teach acting, but with distraction, because everybody teaches you how to act, but they don't tell you once you get to the show, there's like a whole area you can't look at where the cameras are. You have to cross the room, hit that mark without looking at it. You have to make sure you're in this light, but you can't block the light hitting that guy. And there's a guy holding a boom over here, and you have to make sure you're talking to this side and not that side, and make sure you don't hold your hand here. And if you held your hand in the keys in the first scene, you have to hold your hand in the same hand in the keys. There's all these distractions to go on. You've created something beautiful. Now recreate it, but halfway in and only a third of the way through. We just have to do that 4 or 5 times, and now we're going to do the whole thing from a different angle. You have to recreate all these distractions. I would teach that. You already know how to act. Now I'm going to distract you while you're acting.
Do you remember the gig on which you had to learn that?
My first gig was right here in New York City, One Life to Live. Thank you. One of my first scenes.
Yeah, hang on. Let's go.
Thanks. Thanks.
No half measures here.
One of my first scenes with the man who played my uncle, who was a mentor to me to this day, Bob Woods. I'm doing a scene with him. He, during the scene, reaches out his leg and he pushes it against my leg and starts pushing me over to the side. I moved over a little bit, and he goes, and we keep moving. The scene didn't stop. It's all on TV, and I was in his light. I was in his light. He just moved me over. Great. Keep going. He was oh my God, that guy's a pro.
That's a pro move right
I
there.
became technically proficient in my time here in New York City.
That's amazing. How long, forgive my ignorance, how long were
3
you on?
years. It was 3 years to the day.
Wow.
94 through 97. Oh, good times, guys.
That's wild.
Everything that happened to me in New York City, I said, oh my God, I've made it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything that happened. Oh my God, Kathleen Turner's my next door neighbor. I've made it.
It's just so, I've heard before that working on a show, working on a soap opera or something like that, it really is kind of like boot camp for actors, where you learn so many things beyond what you expected to learn.
It's the most intense work I've ever done, and it's every day. There's no break, there's no hiatus, there's no stopping. It's all the time, every day, keep going, don't stop. It's hard. Just memorizing the lines is hard.
I've got a million questions, but so does the audience. So I'm going to make sure we get there in a little bit. I'll leave enough time for everybody. Don't worry. But before we do, one of the things that I thought was amazing that I read about this show is that a lot of people, have been inspired to do exactly as John has done. They've started there. I think you said one of them was a priest and is now a
That's
cop.
absolutely true. That was
true?
my favorite story. So people come up to me and say, there's a guy, I'm a cop, there's a guy in my rookie class who joined because he'd wanted to for ages, but until the show came and said, oh, I'm not having a midlife crisis. This is actually something people have the calling and figure it out late. And then one of my favorite stories was the man who decided to become a police officer was a priest. And I said, there's a show for you.
Yeah, that's a show.
Officer Father?
You got the title and I think
Or Father Officer? I mean, I guess it depends on what you're doing that day.
Yeah, I guess so. You can't really go wrong. Honestly, both of those are going to work. Are you in it? Are you Father Officer?
I think a spin-off. I think we should have a guy, and then he'll go do his own show.
Might not create opportunities. All right, well, The Rookie, it's Sundays on ABC. It comes back for the midseason. I'm super excited. If you will, indulge me with one little fanboy question before we go over to the audience here. Despite the myriad of things you've done and the amazing stuff you've been in, there is still one part that people recognize you most for. It comes up all the time, I'm sure. Even if you look it up on the internet, it's what you're there. And I'm talking about your time on Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place. And in that show... right after that show, you were Mal, and you were on Firefly. And to this day, nearly 2 decades later, I'm sure it's something that comes up all the time. And people always say, that's Malcolm, that's Malcolm. Did you know, with the perspective you have now, can you look back and say, oh, when I was working with Josh and all that, did you know that was something that would live on forever in pop culture and be a part of your journey for the rest of your days? Or were you just having fun?
I was certainly having fun. I was certainly having a great time. My experience to that point didn't include the scope of how things could grow like that. I didn't understand fandom to that extent. Thank God, though, right? Thank God, because it's one of the most favorite things I've ever done. I was a captain of a spaceship. I flew a spaceship and I shot guns and I rode horses.
Did you get any better than that?
I even shot a horse once.
Horse was fine.
He's good. And that's every dream I had as a child, all in one ball right there. Please, God, don't forget it. Right. Please don't forget. Yeah. I don't want to be the only one who remembers.
Was it, I mean, this is a dumb question. Obviously, it was hard, but having your dream.
There are no dumb questions.
Oh, you just wait.
Okay.
But having that, that's dream on dream. That's layered dreams, everything at once, and then then it was gone. You only had it for a little bit. How did you process that? How did you get through that before you realized that it would come back?
I stand corrected. That's a dumb question. I was disappointed, to say the least. It's like getting dumped by if you think you found like the one and you've been dumped and it's gone. No better way to get your TV show canceled than to 2 years later get to do a movie of the same TV show. It's just like, hey, one last crack at it, but we're going to throw some money at it, and the food's going to be better. It's incredible. It's exactly what my heart needed. Yeah.
Is it almost like a superpower for you in your career at that point? Like, well, if I survived that disappointment and that sadness, I think I'm built to survive the rest of this.
I think my superpower is that I'm still here, folks. I'm still here.
Go away.
You can't get rid of me. You can try.
Last thing, because I love so much of the stuff that you've done, but I've really enjoyed recently your recurring role as a teenage girl's fantasized version of yourself on Big Mouth. Yes, you're phenomenal there.
Thank you.
How did that come about, and what is that like playing this heightened version of you?
I did a guest shot on the Kroll show for Nick Kroll ages ago, playing a Mountie in Wheels, Ontario, their Wheels show, their Degrassi parody. I was invited to come do this Big Mouth animated, playing myself, which happens for folks. But often they would come to me with the script and say, "Would you be willing to say this? Would you say that?" I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll say that." Okay, great. They say it almost every episode. Will you say this? Almost every time. It's been so much fun. I've had a lot of people watch that show twice. It's happened to me twice now, where I'm introduced to someone and they say, "Oh, like the character on Big Mouth." They don't know, have no clue. They just think Nathan Fillion's a character on Big Mouth. You sound just like him.
What are the odds? That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming back and hanging out
Pleasure.
with us. Let's get into the audience stuff. But The Rookie, Sundays on ABC. It's coming back this weekend. I know you're all waiting for it. And if you haven't seen it, it's the season 2 is on Hulu, so you can catch up to everybody else between now and Sunday, and then you'll know exactly what's happening. Perfect encroachment right there. The first one we're going to do is from Twitter. This is from @TheSandraLee. Do you have a dream location to film The Rookie if it were within budget? What a responsible question. If it were within budget.
My dream has always been to film something in Hawaii, something, but like on the beach or like in the ocean. Like I got to do an episode of Lost, but
Okay, that's right, yeah.
but I was in a hotel and I was in a house. I could have been anywhere, but I'd like to like be in the jungle or in the ocean. I want to do Waterworld. Is that in the budget?
Let's put it in the budget. I think we all want to see the Waterworld reboot with Nathan Fillion. Nobody anywhere doesn't want to see that.
Dryland's a myth. Nothing's for free in Waterworld. I do love that movie. I really do.
Really?
I do. I love it.
You ever seen the Stunt Spectacular that's over in, I think,
Have I?
Yeah.
I have a stunt double who looks just like me who does the stunts on that show.
Are you serious?
Lucky guy.
That's amazing. All right, we got a couple in the room. The first one, I love this. They give me the names so I could say who's here. This is Michael, 1 of 2. So Michael 1, you're up first. You should have a microphone. Where are you at? There you are, Michael 1.
Hey,
What's
Michael.
up?
I like being 1. Thank you for all you've done for us.
Thank you.
Oh, yes. Now, you've made the change from Castle to The Rookie. Are you still feeling the transition now? How does the transition
I'll tell you, sometimes they have to pull me back a little bit because I get a little goofy. That's a habit. Castle could be goofy as he wanted to be. He was just a child with money in his pocket and no authority figures, so he could just do whatever he wanted. And it's a habit. It's a bad habit. I'll sometimes pull out some goofy stuff and they go, pull it back. Pull it back. Just keep it real. Right. Keep it real.
Thank you, Michael 1.
Pleasure, Michael.
Michael 2, you've got a microphone as well. Hello, Michael 2.
Hey, Nathan.
How
you been?
Excellent, thanks.
First of all, you mentioned superpowers earlier. I know one happens to be something green, maybe Green Lantern, the DC movies, animation.
Yes,
That's also one of my favorites from you.
Thank you very much.
So, speaking of which, whether it be that character or Castle or this show, what do you think what do you think is the best thing you personally brought to your characters that wasn't scripted?
The best thing I brought to my characters that wasn't scripted. Good question. I was always taught it's not about acting, it's about reacting. So I think all of my characters have one thing in common. They don't know what they're going to say until you talk to them. And then you always got to look for that where he's searching for something to say. I don't. I stutter sometimes. I used to stutter a lot, like Bob Newhart. I picked it up from Bob Newhart. Really? I find it very charming.
Yeah.
Well, it's fine. See? Thank you, guys.
That was amazing. We've got, we're going to do one more. This one's coming from Nigel. Nigel, you got a microphone. Where you at? Hey, Nigel.
Hi, Nigel.
How you doing? Nathan. A lot of my friends are young actors starting out. And one of the things they say now, you've got to produce your own content to get noticed. And one of the things they really love is Con Man, which is the web series that you acted in and co-produced.
Yes.
So the question I have is, how did that come about, and how difficult is it to get something like that off the ground? From what
It came about with Alan Tudyk. Had some fantastic ideas about a couple of guys who used to be on a sci-fi show who took different directions in life, and he had all these fantastic ideas. He wrote the entire thing front to back. I remember him sitting in my kitchen saying, I have this idea. And it was a few months later, we are making a video to crowdfund this thing. We made $3.2 million in 48 hours. And it really speaks to the fandom that Alan and I can really just kind of rely on. What's fantastic is with the technologies that are available today, readily available today, if you have some good lighting, make sure your sound is good, the cameras that are available for rent, kids can put together something quite easily on a laptop that was impossible 10, 15 years ago. So producing your own content, yes, absolutely. Get your fingers in it, but get dirty. Start understanding what it's all about, and start looking at your final product and saying, how can I make it better? Absolutely. Thank you.
Great questions all around. Both Michaels, I hold you equally in my heart. We just numbered you for chronological reasons. I just wanted you to know that. Before we get out of here, one more reminder. Sundays on ABC or on Hulu if you have to catch up. Go ahead and check out The Rookie Season 2. We got to get that Season 3. We need to see those shorts. Nathan, you are an absolute delight. Thank you so much.
What a pleasure. What a pleasure to be here.
It's so great to have you back. And speaking about that fandom, you guys were a fantastic audience. Thank you so much for being here. Thanks to those that tuned in live. Yes, keep going for Mr. Nathan Fillion right here. Let's go.